A very good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Uduak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, Buhari seeks Justice Ariwola's nomination as CJN. Still on the headlines, Cameroon parties call France on colonial crimes. Also on the headlines, South Africa officially requests the extradition. And on sports, Nigeria end World Athletic Championship in style. And now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged the Senate to confirm Justice Olukayode Ariwola for appointment as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria, that is the CJN. Buhari's letter of request was read by Senate President Ahmad Lawan on resumption of plenary today. Justice Ariwola is the acting CJN of Nigeria. He took over the position on acting capacity on June 27, following the resignation of Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad on health grounds. About 14 justices of the Supreme Court had petitioned him, alleging poor welfare and outright mismanagement of the funds of the Apex Court before Justice Tanko Muhammad's resignation. The Senate's Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters is currently probing the ex-CJN to determine the variety and veracity of otherwise allegations contained in the petition. Buhari also nominated 4 non-executive directors for the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is the CBN. The nominees are expected to be screened and confirmed by the Senate for appointment as non-executive directors of the CBN. In a similar development, President Muhammadu Buhari will today leave Nigeria for Liberia to participate in that country's special independence anniversary as the people commemorate 175 years of self-rule, being the oldest independent post-colonial African state. Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, in a statement said President Buhari would deliver an address, adding that the trip signifies the importance attached to the security and well-being of Liberia and the rest of West Africa. According to Shehu, the president is expected to stress the importance of respect for rule of law throughout the sub-region. Without rule of law and constitutional rule, there cannot be security, peace, and development. He also noted that a trip to Liberia comes at a time when political instability and the return of coup d'etat have suspended and upended 2 to 3 decades of democratic order in the sub-region. Still talking the news, members of the Nigeria Labour Congress, that is the NLC, engaged in a solidarity protest organized by the national body of the Congress in Ikeja, the Lagos state capital, in solidarity with a strike action of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that is the ASUU. The protest, which is currently holding, is also an opportunity for the NLC to bring attention to other issues affecting the nation. Also, members of the Nigeria Labour Congress, that is the NLC, and affiliate unions in Ogun State have also staged a peaceful protest in Abeokuta in solidarity with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, that is ASUU. The state chairman of the body, Emmanuel Bankole, said the labor leaders want the federal government to respond positively to the demands of ASUU in order to save the future of the country.
On tertiary education, we must rise up to this challenge. We must not leave the battle to the university workers alone. All of us as citizens of this country must rise up and rally around university workers. Enough is enough! Enough is enough! So that is why we are on the road to own back our country, to take back our country.
The nationwide protest organized by the Nigeria Labour Congress, that is the NLC, is in solidarity with ASUU over the strike that clocked 5 months on July 14, 2022. The Nigeria Labour Congress, that is the NLC, had on Monday directed workers in state capitals in Abuja to join the protest, noting that nothing will stop the protest from taking place.
It's no solidarity protest. Don't put it solidarity. is a protest by NLC for ourselves, because all the affiliate unions and their members are members of NLC. We have taken three levels of decision. Okay. First is the protest, which is going to be national. Okay. After the protest is 3 days national warning strike. If it fails, then we'll go perpetual. That is the decision of our National Executive Council. And therefore, I think what will even be very helpful is for them to look at the timeline that we have set for those issues to be sorted out. Already out of even 2 weeks they proposed, 1 week have gone. And I've not seen anything on the table to try to resolve the issue. We are optimistic that they should be willing this time around, because we are also willing to get out.
And away from that, residents of Abuja, Nigeria's capital, are concerned about the security advisory from the federal government leading to the sudden closure of Federal Government College, that is FGC Kwali. This is as the management of the Federal Government College, Kwali, asked parents to evacuate their wards from the school over the fear of attack by terrorists. Speaking on the suspected attack within the FCT and Unity colleges within Abuja, a security risk management and intelligence specialist, Kabir Adamu, also shed light on the matter. They also made it clear that the students who were scheduled to conclude their third-term examination on Tuesday have now been sent home. Meanwhile, families of the kidnapped train victims reacted when they enclosed the entrance of the Ministry of Transportation on Monday to seek for government support in the release of their loved ones after a video of kidnappers flogging their victims was released on Sunday. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us. Refreshing moment it is every time to have this conversation with you. It is Africa Today on Hills TV. Welcome back. Cameroonian political parties have called on France President Emmanuel Macron to recognize France's crimes a few hours before the head of state visits the Western African states, including Cameroon. It's Macron's first visit abroad after re-election as he seeks to reboot France's post-colonial relationship with the continent. Talks with President Paul Biya, 89, who has ruled the country with an iron fist for nearly 40 years, are expected to focus on the threat of Boko Haram in the north of the country and an insurgency by Anglophone separatists. After Germany's defeat in 1918, the League of Nations, the forerunner of the United Nations, that is the UN, handed over most of the German colony of Cameroon to France and the rest, the western part bordering Nigeria, to Britain. Tens of thousands of pro-UPC activists, including independence leader Ruben Onyobe, were massacred first by the French army and then after independence by the Cameroonian army of Ahmadou Ahidjo's regime. Away from that story, former Deputy Interior Minister James Agalga has asked authorities of the Ghana Refugee Board to thoroughly screen the Burkinabés who are seeking asylum in Ghana. According to him, the move will prevent the infiltration of terrorists. Some thousands of Burkinabés reportedly fled their country last week following gun attacks, which have left some persons dead. The foreigners sought refuge in communities including Bansi, Mongoronori, Sapelgiga, Kutanga, and Yarugungu in the Binduru, Bagho municipality in Boku, the West District. The Refugee Board has since dispatched a team to the area to assess the situation. However, Agalga believes government must do more to tighten security. We'll now move to other parts of Africa after this break. Don't go away. Always a delight to have you back. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Authorities in Ethiopia's eastern Somali region say the army, working with regional forces, has killed 85 members of the Somali Islamist group Al-Shabaab. The army says they captured many other militants in an operation concentrated on 5 towns on the border, where the Al-Qaeda-linked group has bases. The action comes in response to an attack last week on Ethiopian forces near the border with Somalia. Witnesses told reporters they saw the militants in several vehicles crossing into Ethiopian territory and that intense fighting had taken place. In that attack, Al-Shabaab said it had killed more than 80 soldiers. Away from that, let's get on to South Africa and have you know that South Africa officially requested the extradition of 2 Gupta brothers currently in the United Arab Emirates, that is the UAE, on charges of money laundering and fraud. South African Justice Minister Ronald Lamola said the Gupta brothers are accused persons in 2 criminal matters. The brothers were arrested in Dubai in June 2022 on the basis of an Interpol Red Notice launched by Pretoria. They are accused of having looted Africa's most industrialized country with the complicity of former President Jacob Zuma. The pair disappeared from the radar in 2018 after a commission was created to investigate on corruption in the country. Meanwhile, Director of National Prosecuting Authority in South Africa, Shamila Batohi, said the government is willing to ensure that all the cases have the necessary resources and having good support from the Department of Justice, adding that the team is working with the ID, that is the Investigative Directorate, and working extremely well now with relevant stakeholders. The Guptas are notably accused of having influenced for a decade the appointment of heads of public companies and ministers and diverted contracts worth several billions. And now let's get on to Tunisia and have you know that President Kais Saied has been celebrating his apparent victory in a referendum on a new constitution that gives him almost unlimited powers. Saied appeared in front of jubilant supporters after an exit poll indicated more than 90% of those who had voted had supported the president's plan. Meanwhile, turnout was only 27.5%, with main opposition parties boycotting the poll. The president's opponents say his changes would just entrench the personal powers he seized a year ago. Saied said turnout announced by the country's electoral commission have been higher if voting had taken place over 2 days. Tunisia became the birthplace of the Arab Spring when it overthrew its long-serving ruler Zine al-Abidine Ben Ali in 2011. The date of the referendum was chosen by President Saied to mark a year to the day since his dramatic move to suspend parliament and dismiss the government. Up next in Africa Today is business. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Business Desk on Africa Today. And talking business, Central Bank of Nigeria has disbursed 68.13 billion naira to beneficiaries under the 100 for 100 policy on production and productivity since the commencement of the intervention. According to the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, disclosing this in Lagos after last monetary policy committee meeting under the 100 for 100 policy on the production and productivity, the bank has released some sort of monies and finances, bringing the cumulative disbursements under the intervention to 68.13 billion naira for 48 projects, comprising 26 in manufacturing, 17 in agriculture, 3 in healthcare, and 2 in services sector. The CBN stated in the guideline that the initiative would select 100 private sector companies with projects that have potential to significantly increase domestic production and productivity, reduce imports, increase non-oil exports, and overall improvement in the foreign exchange generating capacity of the Nigerian economy. Highlighting the specific objectives of the initiative, the CBN said it was designed to catalyze import substitution of targeted commodities, increase local production and productivity, increase non-oil exports, and improve foreign exchange earning capacity of the economy. Still talking business, following 3 weeks of the worst power cuts in South Africa's history, President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced a raft of interventions aimed at solving South Africa's energy crisis. These include improving the performance of state-owned power companies as well as opening up electricity generation to private companies. This follows 10 days of extensive discussions with energy experts to address the country's immediate and long-term electricity requirements. Surplus electricity from independent power producers will be bought by the government and fed into the grid. Other measures announced by the president include removing energy projects and offering incentives to businesses and individuals to install and sell surplus power to the national grid. However, the national grid will continue to be owned entirely by the state. And now taking a breather and having you know that still to come on Africa Today is sports. Don't go away.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Sport News on Africa Today. I am Richard Badung. On the news, Super Falcons striker Desire Okparanozie is ambitious of winning more laurels after claiming a first trophy in China with Wuhan Jiang on Sunday. The Super Falcons striker was elated after a club won the Beijing women in the final of the Chinese FA Cup, thrashing the Beijing women 3-0. The Nigerian had enjoyed some level of success during her professional career in the national team. She was in the Falcons squad that claimed the 2010, 2014, 2016 and 2018 WAFCON titles, playing key roles in the process. The Owerri-born player won the Golden Boot at the 11th edition of the WAFCON held in Namibia in 2014, while the striker, however, missed out on the last WAFCON in Morocco due to COVID-19 restriction in China, but could return to the team for next year's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Meanwhile, Team Nigeria on Sunday ended their campaign at the 2022 World Athletics Championships in Oregon, United States of America, in 18th place out of 43 countries which participated. Newsmen reported that Tobi Amuson's record-breaking performance in the 100 meters hurdles and Esebrume's impressive efforts in the women's long jump ensured Nigeria finished on a high note. Team Nigeria indeed saved their best for the last day of the competition after what seemed like another poor outing for the country at the event. This was when Amuson broke the 100-meter hurdles world record in the semi-finals with an astonishing 12.12 seconds and followed up with a plus 2.5 wind-assisted 12.06 seconds to win Nigeria's first gold medal at the championships. The feat is set by the 25-year-old meant that she made history as the first Nigerian to win a world title and an unprecedented world record in one day. Still talking about the success of African football in Nigeria. Nigeria's player, the likes of Osinachi Ohale, Rashidat Ajibade, have all been drafted into the WAFCON Team of the Year, while champions Bayana of South Africa dominated the team with 4 players, and host Atlas Lionesses of Morocco produced 3 players, while third-place winner Shipolopolo of Zambia had 2 players. 4 teams that will automatically represent the country or the continent in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup that will be co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand have been known, while Cameroon and Senegal will have to go through a playoff. And that's your sport news in Africa today. Back to Udwak Daniel for the rest of the news. I'm Richard Badum.
Great input, Richard Badung on sports. Nice. Well, still talking the news, let's have you know that loud explosion was heard in the premises housing the office of the Secretary to the Kogi State Government, Folashade Arike Ayoade. When contacted, the State Commissioner of Police, Edward Igbuka, confirmed the explosion. An investigation has also commenced to ascertain what the object was. The office premises is next to Lugard Street, housing the Kogi State Council of Nigerian Union of Journalists, that is the NUJ Secretariat. The loud explosion was heard around 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday as journalists gathered to prepare for the day's assignments. And that's Africa Today, but before we go, a quick look at our top stories. We told you Buhari seeks Justice Ariwola's nomination as CJN. We also told you Cameroon parties call France on colonial crimes. We brought to the fore the fact that South Africa officially requests the extradition. And on sports, we told you Nigeria end World Athletic Championship in style. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV, Instagram at Hills TV. Our YouTube channel is at Hills TV. I am Udwak Daniel. Thank you for watching.